Introducing first my fighter to my left, wearing the solid black with the gold trim from the black corner. 73.8 kilos he weighed, standing 177 centimeters tall. His record is impressive, over 200 bouts. His style is kicking. He's the RJA, WMC, World ISK and IKF champion. Trained by Luis Regis and Matt Douglas, SRG Thai Boxing Gym. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing, his name is Sananong Diesellek I work on Muay Thai suit. His opponent from the gold corner wearing the solid gold with the black trim. 74 kilos he weighed, standing 174 centimeters tall. He's had 75 fights for 68 victories and impressive 26 KOs. He's the WMC World Champion, 72.5 kilos. He's the WKN World Champion. He's the Intercontinental WMC 72.5, WMC, and also the WKN Aussie Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, the Shell Belt Champion as well, from the Gold Coast. Trained by Aslan Magmedov. Ladies and gentlemen, Scorpion Gym, introducing the Italian Stallion, Frank Giorgi. Diesellek. Ladies and gentlemen, before we go to the judges' scorecards, please, I'd like you to give Diesellek and, of course, Sepiak a big round of applause as they leave to go back to Thailand very early tomorrow morning. You enjoyed their fighting. Come on, give a round of applause, please. Oh, come on. And now we go to the judges' scorecards. After 5 three-round rounds of action, who will get the W? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have a majority points decision. First judge scored about 50 to 47. Dizzy. All right, I'll take that. Second judge scored about 48 to 49. Giorgi. Third bout scored about 50 to 49 to our winner by majority points decision from the black corner, Diesellek.